Hi everyone, I'm meteorologist John Dissauer. Thanks for checking out my blog, new at Dissauer, here at dissauer.com. Lots of weather to talk about as we've got another little system that will be coming through tonight, so let's get right to it. By the way, I'm taping this at 1 o'clock on Monday, January 10th. Winter weather advisory is in effect for our southern counties and also for our northern counties and through the middle. I'm actually a little suspect of those winter weather advisories for our counties to the west or to the south, but these are all in effect until noon tomorrow, so noon Tuesday, and they go into effect at 6 p.m. This evening. Here we are with the radar imagery. Not a whole lot going on over the top of us. There could be a few flurries today, and that's about it. We're socked in of clouds, and that will remain the case. The big action is out to our west, where we've got this area of low pressure that is developing and deepening and sliding to the east and bringing snow to Kansas City and Columbia, and just skirting Springfield. And all indications are that we'll start to see this intensify and push off to the east here later on tonight. Here we go with Precision Cast at 3 o'clock. You can see the moisture moving to where it will be at, within the next 2 hours or so. We'll go ahead and take this out and notice by 5 o'clock it keeps pushing it eastward. But the bulk of the action for us doesn't get going until probably after 10 o'clock for our western counties, and then especially after midnight tonight for the central portions of the KFVS viewing area. And then it quickly pushes off to the east, and it's just about out of the area by 10, 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. As to how much snow could we see, I'll show you a couple different versions of computer models and show you what's going on. This is our RPM. This is the latest version, the 15Z run. We'll go ahead and let this run out and show you what this is doing for snow accumulation across the area. Anywhere from a ½ inch to upwards of almost 2 inches of snow in Mount Vernon. Excuse me. Here's our 12Z run, which I put a little more weight towards this because it also includes some upper air data off the NAM computer model. And you can see it's showing a ½ inch to 2½ inches perhaps in St. John, or I should say St. Francis County, around Farmington, and then maybe even 3-inch amounts up in northern St. Genevieve. This is through Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. And then a wider view showing you snow that's going to be falling throughout the area. Generally, computer models, I'll give you an indication here. The 12Z NAM computer model run is putting down 1/1200ths of an inch of liquid for Cape. I think this snow is going to be anywhere between in general terms, a 14 to maybe as high as a 17-to-1 ratio. Now, some of our southern counties and cities won't see quite that high of number. It's probably going to be closer to like an 11-to-1 ratio. So at 14-to-1 to 17-to-1 for Cape would bring us into the inch to maybe 2-inch range. As far as liquid is concerned, the NAM has got 0.12. The AVN has 0.12, so both very good, or I should say the GFS. And then our RPM model, the 12Z run for Cape, has 0.13. So they're all honing in on that 0.1 to 0.13 range. That, again, will give us a 1 to maybe 2 inches if we squeeze every little bit out of it. For some of our northern cities, for instance, Farmington, the 12Z GFS is showing 0.18. The 12Z NAM is showing 0.18. And the RPM is showing 0.2. So they're all very close in the amount of moisture, liquid to work with. And I think for Farmington, we're talking in the, let's go 1.5 inches to maybe 3 inches of snow for you. Mount Vernon, Illinois, the models are diverging a little bit. The GFS is going 0.19, the NAM is going 0.28, and the RPM is going 0.24. So splitting the difference, I think Farmington or Mount Vernon, Illinois, we could see anywhere between 2 to 3.5, perhaps. In Carbondale, all the models are converging on the 0.18 range, so maybe 2 to 2.5 inch snow for Carbondale. Generally speaking, I think we're talking probably a 1 to 3 inch snow north of this line. In the higher amounts, the 2 to 3 is probably going to be somewhere north of this line. So this would be generally 1 to 2, 2.5 to 3 inch snow up there, and then we're talking much less than that down to the south. Interesting to note also, the models are indicating a little vortex in the atmosphere about 10,000 feet up in the air that's going to slide through here roughly along a line like this. And if that happens, there's a chance that the intensity could pick up a little bit, and that's represented by the amount of moisture that these models are indicating. which would help the higher end, the closer to 16 to 17 to 1 snows versus the lower end. The other thing, one concern I've got is we still are going to have an easterly wind, which is bringing in dry air, and typically with these storms, when you bring in an easterly wind, you're going to get generally slow. That wind's going to help eat some of this moisture because we've got dry air in place, so we will have to overcome that a little bit. So some of this liquid might be soaked up before it actually hits the ground. As far as my friends and relatives up in Indiana, what you can expect, I know there's some talk up there of 4 to 7. I don't buy the higher end at all. In fact, I was just talking with a good friend of mine, Brian Wilkes, who's the chief meteorologist at Fox 59 in Indianapolis, and the liquid for Indianapolis is right around 1/4 of an inch of liquid, and up there we're probably talking a 12 to 1 to maybe 16 to 1 ratio, and so for Indianapolis I think we're talking 3.5 to 4 inch, maybe 4.5 inch snows, so generally 3 to 5, and for Columbus probably to 3 to 5 inch range is a safe bet at this point, or at least is a good range I think for you. So 3 to 5 is possible across central Indiana. That is the latest from here. Thanks for checking out the blog. I'll try to have another update later tonight as new data comes in. But the latest is, I think the snow begins to move into our western counties of southeast Missouri, probably around 10 o'clock. Heavier snow begins to pick up probably after midnight tonight, and should be out of here by tomorrow morning. Thanks for checking out the blog, and have a great afternoon.